Hi, welcome to Videos from the Ville. This is Dr. Charles Greenawalt in the Government Department, and this is an introductory video to state and local government, just to go over the syllabus for our course, to talk about the requirements of the course, the contents of the course, and the scheduling. You will find that, of course, we're in an unusual time, as all of you folks know, and none of us can do anything about that. I'm sure we'd all prefer to be in the classroom, and we'd all prefer to be working with our traditional tools, our laptops and our notebooks, and be able to see one another and talk to one another personally. That is a much more effective manner of education, but we'll get by the best we can with this arrangement for this semester. I am not going to use D2L, so how we are going to proceed in this course is I'm going to record your lectures. I'm going to post them on YouTube. You will be able to watch them there when you can during the week that we're going over that topic. Of course, you will be assigned a textbook, and you will have assignments to read every week. And you'll be assigned a number of videos to watch throughout the semester. And we will have 3 open book, untimed papers that we will be asking you to complete. And you'll send them back to me by email. So we'll have 3 of them for this semester. So I'll also be sending you by email your all your PowerPoints. My email is open to you 24/7, and I'm going to give you a cell phone number now that you can use to contact me anytime between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. If it's a true emergency, call me on Saturday as well. But it would be great if you could call me between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. on the cell phone. My cell phone number, which will be on the syllabus that I've sent you as well by email, is 717-222-9771. That's 717-222-9771. Okay? Well, let's take a look at Introduction to State and Local Government. There are 2 sections of you. This is Government and Political Affairs 112. As I said, my name again is Dr. Charles Greenawalt. I'm normally found in Fulton House in room 203. I'm upstairs in the middle of the hall. Our names are all the instructors' names are on our doors. And my office hours, as I said, you can call me anytime between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. if you'd like. But I will especially have my phone available to me and be very attentive to see if any of you wish to call me, and you can FaceTime me if you'd like, particularly from 12 to 1, from 12 to 1 every day, okay, 12 to 1 Monday through Friday. My email address, and if you'd like to email me, I think you have it from some of the things I've sent to you by listserv, but my email address is charles.greenawalt, that's spelled Greenawalt, at millersville.edu. Again, that's charles.greenawalt, GREENAWALT, at millersville.edu. Okay, so that's my contact information, and that should hold you in good stead for the semester. Now, the course objective. This is a very exciting time to be taking state and local government, or American national government, because we're in the midst of a presidential election. And I hope that you will pay attention to that. A presidential election isn't something that just the American government class will pay attention to. The American presidency affects the state of federalism, in our country and affects all state and local governments as well. So it's something that all of us must pay attention to, whether we're studying state and local or American national. But the purpose of this course is simply to enable you to turn on your radio, your TV, pick up your newspaper, look at some of your websites, and you will understand the headlines. You'll understand what they're talking about. If you pick up a newspaper and it's talking about the Steele dossier, you'll know what the Steele dossier is, for example. Or if we're talking about the Sweet Commission report, you'll know what the Sweet Commission report is here in Pennsylvania. But I want to give you the knowledge so that you can understand the nuts and bolts of state and local government. You'll understand how it's organized, how it's structured, and how it functions. And if you would like to be involved with it in the future, and all of you will come to that time at one time or another in your lives, you'll know how to go about interacting with it, working for change, hopefully to make it better. I think that our course will simply fulfill its mission if you can pick up the newspaper and you can listen to the news on state and local government on the television or the radio, and you'll understand all the reports and what the implications of those are. Well, the requirements of the course I've already mentioned. We're just going to have 3 open book, untimed tests. It's almost like a paper, therefore. There's no minimum or maximum length to those papers. Each one of those will be worth 33% of your grade. So that will work out essentially to the full 100%. We'll just round up. The exams have to be taken within a designated time frame. Normally I would have portfolios for you to do, but in this semester we will pass on the portfolios for this semester at this time. My lectures, as I said, can all be found on YouTube. The lectures for the second half of the semester are already there. The lectures for this first half of the semester will be slowly appearing later this week and the subsequent weeks. But I'm going to be giving you a few videos to look at prior to that. I have some background videos that I'd like you to take a look at, sort of for a more, have a greater perspective on life in Western civilization in our national being. So I'm going to ask you to take a look at Roger Scruton's video on beauty, and you'll see that in the second half of that, you'll see how he applies it to government and public policy. He was a one-man think tank for Margaret Thatcher and recently passed away, unfortunately, but he was one of the most profound thinkers in politics and government that we've seen in the 20th and 21st centuries. My YouTube channel will be listed on the link to it will be listed on your syllabus, so you'll want to take a look at that. I'm not going to try to go through that. It runs the full length of the full width of the page. We're going to be using 2 books this semester. I want you to use Kevin Smith, Governing States and Localities. Kevin B. Smith, Governing States and Localities. And I want you to use my former employer's book, Robert C. Jubelirer. Robert C. Jubelirer, Jubelirer. Robert C. Jubelirer. And that book is called Lessons from a Legislative Life. Lessons from a Legislative Life. Furthermore, I'll be asking you to take a look at a 3rd book that I essentially edited. It was done by Eugene Hickok, called The Reform of State Legislatures, The Changing Character of Representation. We did that at the Commonwealth Foundation when I was there as research director. That is going to be made available to you electronically, or I'm going to send that to you but you don't have to worry about buying that, and that will be about halfway through the class. We'll worry about that. Now, you should also take a look at some of the materials that are available, particularly in the library or on the internet. You want to take a look at the American Political Science Review, County News, Current Municipal Problems, Governing Magazine, which is only available electronically now, State Government News, state legislatures, and state policy reports are all good sources of information about state and local government. I'd like you also to start to watch the news regarding state and local government every day. I don't care how you do it. You can watch television, and you'll see state and local government news at 6 in the morning. I'm sorry, at 6 at night, and at 11 at night. You can read one of your local newspapers. For example, the Lancaster paper is as good a paper as you'll find for coverage of state and local news in Pennsylvania. But you can also read the Philadelphia Inquirer or the Harrisburg Patriot News, although that's only published 3 times a week now. You can read the York newspapers. There are any number that are available. But I essentially want you to follow the big picture. What is happening in Harrisburg? I'm not asking you to be familiar with the governor's dog's name, but I would like you to know if the governor is promoting a tax increase proposal, or we're doing something new and dramatically different to try to contain COVID-19. I'd like you to know the big issues and what's going on in Harrisburg. I let one source out. Pennsylvania Township News is also a very good source of news about the local government in Pennsylvania on the township level. Some other websites that you might want to take a look at on the national level. The Drudge Report is one of the longest running platforms that is there, and has news available from across the globe, across the nation, and state and locally as well, if it's a significant report. That'll connect you to a link that will take you to the news that he wants you to be familiar with. The Drudge Report is a good way to stay up to date on national news quickly. At the state level, there's something called the Keystone Report. The Keystone Report is set up in the same template that the Drudge Report uses, and it will keep you up to date on everything that's happening across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Well, we have a reading and examination schedule on the syllabus as well. This is broken up not into individual class periods, as some of my colleagues might do, but it's broken down into weeks. We try to tackle topics within state and local government each week. And you'll find that probably at the beginning of this semester, I'll fall behind our time schedule, but we'll catch up before the first exam. During this first week, I'd like you to read Chapter 1 in Smith. Chapter 1 in Smith. And that will be about political culture and political socialization. But that is all that I'm asking you to read. Chapter 1 in Smith, and again, it's Kevin B. Smith, Governing States and Localities. The second week will cover federalism, the third state constitutions, the fourth state finance. We'll have our first exam right after that, and then we'll go on to look at elections and political participation, political ideology, the governorship, the state legislature, and interest groups. From there, we go on to look at gubernatorial and legislative reform. After that, we go on to the judiciary, the mass media, local government in metropolitan areas, and then education, crime, and welfare on the 14th week, and the 15th week is the future of federalism and of Pennsylvania. Your second exam will be on the 11th week at this point, and your final will be during our regular finals period. Okay? I guess that is it. There's also a Title IX statement on your syllabus. I'd like you to go ahead and read that. It should be on all of the syllabi here at Millersville. Lastly, I would normally ask to find out information about all of you, where you're from, where you went to high school, what you hope to do. That's a little bit more difficult without being in the classroom. So I'd love to have conversations with you by email. I'd love to have conversations with you by phone. I'm happy to do that, and I welcome the opportunity to get to know each and every one of you. Lastly, I guess you could ask the question of why is this person teaching this class, or why might he or she be qualified to do that? For those of you who don't know me or haven't had me before, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm a product of South Central Pennsylvania, like most of you. I was born in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and still believe in Milton Hershey's dream and vision and legacy. I spent the second half of my childhood outside of Lebanon Valley College in Annville. And after graduating from Annville Cleona, I came to Millersville State College as my daughter did years after me, but as my father did, my grandmother did, and my great-grandfather did. We all come back to Millersville. I got a great education in political science in Millersville State College, yet to be a university. And from Millersville, I went on to the University of Virginia for graduate school, where you had to have 5 subfields to get your PhD. Mine were public administration, Western Europe and American foreign policy, international relations, American national government, and Soviet and Eastern Europe comparative government. So those were the 5 subfields I had. Between my master's and my doctorate, I took several years off, and I served as community development director in Greene County, Virginia, where essentially I was an assistant county administrator, and I was able to take everything that I learned in public administration and see how you apply the theory to the real world. And in my public administration class, we talk a lot about much about that. I went back to UVA, finished my doctorate. My first teaching assignment was Lake Superior State University in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Then I returned to Virginia and was the co-coordinator of the public administration program at Ferrum College. I was there 3 years, and then I returned to Pennsylvania as the policy director of the state senate, which I did for 7 years. Then the phone rang, and I was able to come back to Millersville. And in addition to coming back to Millersville, I also accepted the research director's position at the Commonwealth Foundation. I did that for 7 years. I continued to teach at Millersville, and some of my colleagues and I opened the Susquehanna Valley Center for Public Policy, which we currently run. You can see the website and see some of the things we do there. One of the things we do is we have a state cable TV show about state public policy called Behind the Headlines. It's on 105 cable channels across the Commonwealth, and you can find it either at one of your Comcast stations or just come to our website and you can find the archives there if you'd like. We also send an email blast every 2 weeks to the legislature and all the state press and county officials as well. And we have a platform for a internet radio station as well. So those are the things I do to try to keep myself busy. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about my background or about the course. But I simply wanted to touch base with you today to get us started for the semester. So look over the syllabus. Let me know if you have any questions, and you want to start out by watching those 2 videos that I talked about. well, one video I talked about Roger Scruton, and the other video I want you to take a look at is Niall Ferguson, and he has a video on civilization. These two introductory videos will kind of give you the big picture and try to get us on the right course and away from the perhaps the some of the experiences of the summer, and put us on the right course again. So I look forward to working with you. Don't be a stranger. Give me a call, send me an email, and I think we're going to have a good semester together. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon.